process information stored on data bricks. Only an operator wielding the Calcaduceus may set the archive to its tasks. To outsiders, it appears we are waving a mathematical magic wand, but we know better. It's scientism. Alas, the facility has slipped from our computational control, a loss not only for scientism, but all of humanity. It is imperative that we recover the archive and resume its great purpose, solving the universal equation so we will inevitably achieve ascendancy.
Since we recorded this episode, the thermal transfer system size increased from 4,367.89 kilometers to 4,367.91 kilometers. We are racked with regret for this error.
Stand by for further stimulating content. Warning, the following song mentions some actions that are improper, something your fractions should never be.
The color of space, a chromospectral analysis. When asked about the average color of space, the famous stellar cartographer Newton Otisgard replied, with no hesitation, beige. To experienced lumen astronomers, his answer was the expected one. But I can already hear the obtuse listener bleating, with their faces contorted into a rictus of ignorance. Wouldn't the average color be black or white, or simply a shade of gray? No. No, it would not. The answer is rooted in the science of how hot objects absorb and emit light, which answers the ancillary mystery of why there are no green stars. To understand all of this, you must understand the basics of thermal divarication emission theory. The typical piece of non-heated matter absorbs most electromagnetic radiation that falls upon it, including light, infrared, and radio emissions. And the matter reflects only a small portion of that radiation. The visible part of that reflection is its color. However, most stellar objects generate far more radiation than they absorb, so they can be modeled as an idealized object, which is assumed to absorb 100% of all electromagnetic radiation and re-emit some based on its temperature and composition. Stellar composition determines what packets of light will be emitted, while stellar temperature determines the frequency of light and hence what portion of the spectrum that light is in. Glow temperature emission is mostly infrared and not visible to us without proper instrumentation, which I need not describe here. As the stellar body's temperature increases, its emitted light shifts up into visible light, through red into orange, then yellow, then white. Even rare blue stars exist. These are the hottest stars, emitting mostly blue, visible ultraviolet light. So why are there no green stars? I think listeners could easily draw this trivial conclusion for themselves, but if I must. It's because any star emitting green light also emits bluish and or reddish light too, resulting in a non-green star. There is no naturally occurring stellar composition that emits solely packets of green light. In fact, such a composition itself would constitute evidence for intelligent interference. And no such evidence of any kind has ever been detected. Let's get back to Newton Otisgard, the famous stellar photographer. The methodology of the Otisgard's chromospectral surveys was straightforward. He partitioned his astronomical field of view into grids, then tagged each object in every grid. He ignored empty regions, as black would only dim the color and not change its fundamental hue. The light from every galaxy, star, nebula, and quasar was gathered and fed into a central tabulator for computation. The Subsequent spectral analysis produced a final answer to within 0.5% of the predicted value. And that result was beige. More specifically, in the cylindrical coordinate model of color space, the hue is 42 degrees, while the saturation is a mere 9%, and the value is a full 100%. In more novice terms, while the color results in a more beige tone. And there you have it. So go forth, neophytes. And as you study your lessons, stare at the nondescript walls of your library, classroom, or dormitory facility, and exult in the knowledge that beige is also the color of youth.
Welcome back. With your help, we've nearly remarkable. That is enough to get all of the auto docks back up and running. With them, we can save all the remaining wounded. Words can't begin to express my gratitude. I and all of Auntie's choice. Thank you.
Don't know why, but I do feel a bit better. Alva would have liked that, I think.
With chemical vegetable expulsions.
You enjoyed our casts. Now try our expulsions. From the Order of the Ascendant. In times of peril, remind yourself, contentment is found by accepting your role in the grand plan. Understanding your place, knowing your course, removes all worry and doubt. And now, a song from a composer predicted to have 3 well-liked melodies and become allergic to water this year.
Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
Wish.
What caused the schism between the Protectorate and the Order? The Consul tried to kill presiding Bishop Ruth Bassar.
Ah, my agent friend. I suspected I might see you again soon. I just had word from one of Auntie's choicest commanders that you have been of some assistance to them. Through your efforts, we may yet see peace. You've lessened the load on my mind considerably, and you have the Order's gratitude.
Unveils the key to logic's symmetry. How can that be? How can that be? Irrationality. One thing that you must profess, irrationality is a part of our progress. How can that be? How can that be?
We going to kill Hierarch Ziegler soon? My knife hand's getting itchy. Who can say? There was no indication that I've seen. I've interacted with him on occasion. Seemed a decent, loyal sort. As interested as I am to hear whatever sorry explanation he has, not sure I'll be able to control my rage when I see him to ask why before I remove his spleen. Maybe I'll start with his gallbladder? Such as? Nothing of much worth to tell there. I'd rather hear your story. It sounds like you've let others dictate your existence with their culturally imposed limitations and narrow interpretation of righteousness and truth. Joining the Glorious Dawn freed me of such nonsense. They gave me a completely new life, wiped away all traces of fear and repression, and replaced them with unbridled freedom. My world used to be devoid of color. Everything was gray. Now everything is vibrant, like the arterial spray of a freshly opened vein. And I'm still not interested in discussing it.
The hostages went home. They all...
The song I was supposed to play. Oh, I forgot to carry the one.
Commander, we should put our heads together while we have time.
Cognitive function.
The information collected on the peace talks has been verified, Commander. As time is a factor, this unit suggests heading to Greater Tranquility Station as soon as you are able.
You have a plan, Commander? If not, may I suggest unrestrained carnage tends to grab people's attention.
Stakes are high. If DeVries sabotages the peace talks, war will continue. Don't need to be a seer to divine that.
Not to mention paying her back for the lives she's already taken.
Records indicate Greater Tranquility is a derelict station. Consequently, the ideal route to reach the main chamber for the peace talks will be through its underbelly. Be advised. In the absence of Victor and his explosives, Agent DeVries and her team will be committed to a frontal assault. Due to delays incurred while saving the Order hostages, DeVries also has the codes to control the station's security automechanicals, and will assuredly deploy them against you, Commander. Additionally, per the Earth Directorate Manual, when lacking equivalent combat forces, determination and vast amounts of ammunition may make up the difference.
You know where I stand. This war's taken too many good folk from us. I'll be damned if I let DeVries add to that number.
I'm coming with you. Who better to make DeVries pay for Horizon Point than a pair of her own phantoms? I know what's at stake. I'm not asking you to set aside the mission. I'm telling you I want to be there when you face Augustine. I'm owed answers, Commander.
Confirming coordinates for Greater Tranquility Station. Confirmed. Use the astrogator when you are ready to navigate to the station, Commander. Marisol Delgado has been added to the ship roster and has claimed her quarters. This unit has also been informed by Agent Delgado that she is not to be disturbed while resting unless the ship is on fire, and even then only if it nears my quarters. This unit is available to which member of the Incognito would you like? Agent Delgado has asked that this unit not provide unauthorized updates on her aptitude or well-being. She instead requests that anyone wishing to form an opinion of her speak with her directly and within striking distance. Agent Delgado has also asked that the following addendum be provided. That last portion was a joke, to some degree. Multiple warnings have been issued to Deputy Agent Leitinger regarding knife safety, and all have gone ignored. This unit...
Victor wasn't exactly the partner in crime I envisioned DeVries to have. Reckon a tough crossword puzzle would have eventually sent him over the edge, even if we hadn't come along. I'm glad we were able to show him a little grace. DeVries obviously manipulated him into acting against his conscience. You ever wonder what might have happened if DeVries had let us in on her initial plan? Surely we wouldn't have been taken in by her rhetoric like Victor. Right? You should have met her before Horizon Point. She was really something. It's just, I look at someone like Victor and see the trap I might have fallen into. True, but DeVries is still DeVries. She's good at deconstructing folks, uncovering their points of failure. She'd have known I had my heart set on being a hero. After Triangulum, all I wanted was to do for other colonies what Augustine had done for mine. Still do, if I'm honest. Maybe not. Past 10 years have more or less proven that out. Thanks for letting me wax for a bit. We can get back to what we were doing now. Unless there was something else you needed. It was less merger and more hostile takeover. I don't have all the details, but it sounds like Spacer's Choice tried to outmaneuver Auntie Cleo through quasi-legal means and got a hell of a lot more than they bargained for. And now her new brand's been turned into an invasion force bent on conquering the entire system. Oh yeah? What's needling you? Shit. Knew I was forgetting something. Must be the long hours. Just aside, we don't need to pretend those weren't mine. I had some trouble adjusting in the years after Horizon Point. I was in pain more times than I wasn't. Had trouble sleeping. The drinks helped. Until they didn't. For those first few years, every time I laid down and closed my eyes, I went back there, to Horizon Point. I'd swear I could feel the explosion again, the heat coming at me. I'd wake suddenly in the middle of the night, startling at nothing, sweating like I'd run a race. Sometimes Zeb set up with me. He told me I'd get better with time, and I did. The sedatives he was occasionally able to get his hands on didn't hurt neither. Anyway, that was the past. I'm good now. I found other ways to cope. Healthier ones. I'm not sure anyone would consider that healthy. When I'm not out there heroically saving the colony, I like to tinker around the ship or work on Val. I exercise. Been considering taking up cross-stitch. What do you think?
Actually, it was due to Spacer's Choice, which somehow merged with another...
Just remember you said that the next time I'm puttering around at odd hours making a racket. And thanks. Was there anything else you needed, Commander? Always up for a little backfence talk, though I'm guessing you don't mean Val. Underneath that friendly old lady facade, Marisol's a killer. Best me not forget that. Future's always changing, though. Who knows? Maybe Marisol will surprise us. In a good way, I mean. Not in a surprise attack kind of way. I hope. I think she'd have a hell of a time passing the Directorate psychological screening. Don't much care for all her talk about disembowelment, neither. Truth be told, I don't know her all that well. Reckon she's unmoored and grabbing for anything that feels like purpose. Same as the rest of us. At least that's what I would say if I was feeling charitable. Most days, I'd send her out the airlock if it came to a vote. Sure thing. I trust you've got...
Showed that the berries were not poisonous at all. Instead, they were infected with a microscopic parasite, the purpleberry parasite, or...
That damn Wiley put us in an impossible situation. I'm glad those hostages can go back to their families, but I fear we played right into DeVries' hands. With that data, she could wreak more havoc than we anticipated. Look, I know the choice is yours on how you want to approach this, but it's my folk in the crosshairs. If something happens to our delegate, I don't know how I'd live with myself. If there's space by your side, I hope you'll call on me.
The microscopic eggs inside the berries are exposed to the host's digestive enzymes, which trigger their hatching. These parasites enter their second
Sure, but don't get me wrong. I ain't asking this of you for my own benefit. We got a duty to protect everyone at the peace talks. You as an Earth Directorate agent, me as a soldier. It's what we do. If we fail to stop DeVries, this will have dire consequences for the war and everything else. So let's not fail. Sure. Ain't often you see an elder solving an equation with one hand and stabbing someone in the eye with the other. So the real question is, does she get along with me? I sure hope so. I'm keen to learn about her, though I reckon she's more of an abacus than an open book. Set in her ways, methodical. And law help you if you jostle her. Oh, I got a lot of choice words that would have even Val covering her audio receptors, so I'll spare you most of them. I just hope we don't regret letting Azza on board. She ain't right in the head. She's damn near bloodthirsty. I'll keep my distance when I can, but I promise you, if I perceive even a hint of threat from her, I will deal with it.
Initial classification error. It's a wonder the Auntie's Choice scientists managed to ascertain any subsequent safeguards at all. After some additional casualties, plotting Auntie's Choice field researchers discovered that co-native planetary fauna was well adapted to the parasite and hardly affected by it to any large amount. But human colonists were not so fortunate. The PBP worms disrupted the human internal biome to such a degree that the eventual correspondingly large immune response leads to violently explosive diarrhea, resulting in the expelling of the worms.
Whatever's on your mind. Sometimes with purpose. Don't you as well? Do you draw some moral distinction between avenging harm and nipping it in the bud beforehand? Between covert and overt means? When all is said and done, are those in your ledger any less dead than mine? Had a sense you felt that way. We'll see if situations force that to change. Some were proprietary. Often they involved forms of subtle persuasion, others more overt influence. Now and again, more direct means were required. Do you now? Let's hear it. Oh, I am a dedicated member of the Order. Beyond that, there's really little you or anyone need to hear about. Consider yourself lucky. You already know more about me than anyone else I've met in the last 20-odd years.
The answer was found not in a lab, but in a history book.
I see you're not going to let this lie, are you? Fine. Suppose I'll elaborate. Slightly. I mentioned before I was part of the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection. My role there, you may recall, was head intercessor. I was tasked to influence pivotal events, to keep the solving of the equation on track. Something occurred. I needed to step off the board a while.
Freezing. The simple and obvious, yet untried, act of freezing the salmon.
Dorado appealed to me because it was off the board but not completely remote. There I could lie low for a time, but observe. So I'd believed. Our department was shuttered shortly after Ruth Pissar took office. To avoid undue attention, I remained in hiding. To put it mildly, after the incident in question, seeking refuge seemed prudent. Inquire away. I may even respond. Another crack like that, and you might just find out. Our department employed a variety of methods to obviate hindrances and threats to the Order's efforts. We were considered wardens of the grand plan, helping correct it when needed. All of us are part of the plan. We follow the path intended for us by the architect. We should, at least. Now and then, some push back against their path, but it never ends well. Corrections can take time. Even may the plan favor us. Did you need something? Happy to provide your young colleague. Competent, practical, crack shot. Saddened by his years of isolation, but also honed like me. He would be a formidable target of assassination. Oh, he seems like a nice young man, dear. She has an aptitude for killing, although it's quantity over quality with her. I'm glad she's on our side, but I'm still sleeping with my goggles on proximity alert mode. I must admit I wrote off these corporatists as shallow bit obsessed simpletons. I still do on average, but she falls far outside their norm. Her model is a design classic, and the aftermarket mods she received from Niles are most impressive. We'd be dead many times over without her. She makes me laugh more than anyone. Suppose you can ask. Very well. Never minded.
Forward, noses out of academic journals.
End message with an emphatic sign.
Still too many corporate bootlickers drawing air around here for my taste. Such as? What do you need, Commander? Who exactly? Niles? He's fun to torment. I mean, he's equal parts enthusiastic and naive, even with all he's gone through. I find her amusing, in a best not to torment her or she'll kill us all kind of way, which I completely respect. Of course I do. What's not to like? To envy? Her style, her lethality. Oh, she's a professional for architect's sake. I wish I'd known about her department when I was growing up. Even as a child, I know they'd have seen my potential. Not only does she possess more heart than your standard corporatist flunky, she's a great deal smarter as well. Don't tell her I said so. Such as?
Here's an easy acronym. QED. Quickly elucidate and demonstrate. QED. Get to the point and do not vacillate. You've checked your work and verified your data. Send in your proof. Don't wait for later.